And we are live. No intro tonight. I'm already late enough. So we are live. And I got a special guest tonight. We have a special guest on CobraCast IRL. And there's no other way to introduce Rolo other than to just go.
We are also praying for the people of Puerto Rico.
Did it freeze? Did it freeze? Oh, come on.
We are also praying for the people of Puerto Rico.
What? It's not even working. Maybe it's because I'm on my laptop. I don't know.
It doesn't have
I don't know what's going on. Man. Well, I hope everybody can see us. I hope the connection is okay. It is CobraCast IRL. We are live. I hope everybody can hear me. I hope the microphone is coming through soon. But we've also got, we're going to get super chats and everything. So I apologize for being late, but we do have Rolo, the Puerto Rican pistolero from Locked and Loaded Latinos. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. I heard that Jay's been hyping this up for a long time, talking about CobraCast. He's like, CobraCast is my favorite show. I can't get enough of it. Every week I got to watch it.
Man, so Jay has
happy to be here.
Jay has been hang on. I got audio coming in. Hang on. All right. Anyway, so Jay has been a driving force behind this show. So Jay has been for the longest, with the last few years of Geeks and Gamers, I have not been doing a lot of solo streams. And Jay's been like, Jeremy, man, I miss old school Jeremy. I miss when you used to roast people on Twitter. You used to go live. You used to laugh at them. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm just so busy. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do that right now. And so when this opportunity with CobraCast came up, I couldn't. He couldn't stop telling me how happy he was. And I'll be honest, and I've told this to the audience many times, I'm happy as well. It feels really good to kind of get back to this type of, format. Couldn't be happier. And I'm happy to have you here. So,
oh yeah,
man, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to roast. Hayden for Fitty says CobraCast IRL. Hail, Jeremy. Hail, Rolo. Assuming you're here. This is an early super. Hail, chat. Jeremy, I want to know what you think of the Murdaugh trial. Convicted of double murder, 2 life sentences. I think there was lots of reasonable doubt. So that's a great question. I know that a lot of the guys in the law tube world have been covering that. Honestly, it has not been on my radar. I saw that everything was announced today, but I don't feel that I have enough information on it to kind of give an educated response. Have you been following that trial at all, Rolo?
Not really. Not other than what happened today with the jury. I know that they only deliberated for like 45 minutes. 3 of them initially, 2 were initially no on guilty, and then 1 was kind of like in the middle, but within 45 minutes, the rest of them were able to persuade them. So that's pretty much the extent of what I know.
So I'll take a rain check on that one, Hayden, and I do have to drive back to Orlando in a day or two, and when I do that, I think I'm going to do a little deep dive on it, and I'll check it out, and on CobraCast Monday, I'll have a better answer for you. If that's a decent enough answer, because like I said, I just don't want to look. I can bullshit with the best of them. That's what most YouTubers are good at. But I respect the Fitty, and I want to make sure I give it a proper answer. So Monday, CobraCast IRL, I will answer that. But that's interesting that there's some reasonable doubt, and maybe there's some questions around that. One thing I didn't put this on the topic for the day, but one thing I think we should talk a little bit about, and one thing I've been following is this Andrew Tate situation. I don't know how much you've been following that one, but I personally think every man on the planet should be concerned over the Andrew Tate situation because, as I said, I don't know. I didn't know much about Andrew Tate until he got mass banned from all of social media. And that's really when he got put on my radar. And then I was like, well, who the hell's Andrew Tate and why are they banning him from everywhere? And then I realized how big Andrew Tate was. I'm like, wow, I didn't know he was that big of a deal. And so I started watching a lot of the clips that were out of context. I'm like, oh man, this dude's pretty wild out there with some of his takes on women. And then you start looking at the long form content. You're like, this dude actually is really, really intelligent and really well-versed. And he's saying a lot of things that young men probably should be hearing at this point in time. And then, then he kind of, got on my radar from that perspective. I watched some of his stuff and then all of this happened. and he's been locked up essentially since late December in Romania. And they can't really seem to find any evidence to pin on him, but there's a lot of speculation about what he did, but no evidence to support it. And then you have women that are being named in the lawsuit, apparently, but then the women are coming out saying, no, we're not victims. We actually know the Tate brothers, and they're great, and they did a lot for us. Holy shit, man. What a wild story. Have you followed this at all, Rolo?
That's pretty much what I've known about it as well. And it's just crazy that it seems like every time that his case or whatever, that they get to the time limit to check it out and actually kind of bring charges for it. It's like, nope, we're just going to continue to keep him imprisoned. And it's preposterous. Obviously it's not in the United States. So you don't have some of the same rights, even though in the United States, it's crazy what can happen to people. Look at the J6, everybody that's been locked up for J6 for more than a year now. So, I mean, crazy shit like that can happen, but here, it's pretty clear that he pissed off the wrong people. That's what I really see. That he obviously pissed off the wrong people, and that's what's keeping him in jail right now. So it's going to be one of those indefinite things where they're just kind of hoping that people forget about him and that they move on.
Yeah. They're trying to basically, in my opinion, they're trying to Alex Jones him. They're trying to basically take any influence that he has away. They're trying to destroy him. And then I guess there's the story. And I know, by the way, shout out to Hollywood Scholar, who's backstage helping us out. And so is My Nerdy Home. Everyone say hello to Steph.
Yeah.
But, as Hollywood Scholar just put in their private chat, I know there's the story about him and there's cancer, like something to do with him having cancer. I haven't looked too far into that. I know Keemstar posted about it earlier. If you can look that up, Rolo, and see if you can find it, maybe share your screen. But Keemstar posted about it. And I don't know if it's something, apparently. So from what I understood, 2 weeks or maybe 2 months before he was arrested, there was a story about him potentially having some form of cancer. I don't know how serious it is or not. But that's an interesting kind of twist through all of this. And by the way, is audio out of sync for anyone in the chat? I saw one person ask about that. And again, I am operating off a laptop in my Pensacola setup right now. I don't have my original setup. So, I promise you guys I will have this better suited for when I'm traveling. But is the audio okay for everybody in the chat? Let me know. Audio's good. Audio's good. Okay.
Got an
Excellent
article Jed gave us here.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So Andrew Tate's legal team says he has a tumor asked to be treated in Dubai. Can you enlarge that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and there we go. All right. So, sex trafficking suspect Andrew Tate is trying to get sprung from jail and allowed to travel to Dubai so he can receive treatment for what his legal team says is a tumor in his lung. The self-proclaimed misogynist, see, like he says it in a certain perspective, and the way that they're presenting that is bullshit. Yeah. Wants the freedom to consult with his Dubai doctors for what he claims is a dark spot on his lung. Tate has been reportedly receiving treatment since before his December 29th arrest on charges allegedly running an organized gang involved with sex exploitation, human trafficking, and rape. Look, here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Andrew Tate did actively make the decision to go to Romania and move to Romania. Yep. And so he kind of put himself in that position. Let's call it like it is. But then I know he's got connections in Dubai. So what I think this sounds like is he wants to go to Dubai and then he's never coming back.
Oh no, he's going. He's gone.
That's exactly what that sounds like to me. But I don't know, man. Am I off my rocker here? Do I I know there's a lot of people out there that are really there's this hesitation to kind of go full blown that Tate is being set up because you don't know. Like, we just became familiar with this guy just in the last year, most of us anyway. So it's like, you don't want to put all of your stock into this guy if he actually is, this horrible person. But from everything that I have seen from Andrew Tate, he's really smart. He's really intelligent. He's super based. He's helping young men. He's putting a message out that the powers that be certainly don't want out there. And the fact that they've had him in a Romanian prison and his brother for several months now with no evidence whatsoever, that's a massive red flag for me.
Yep.
So I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? What do you think? Because that's, go ahead.
I think what also pisses people off is it could be a case of, it could be a case of he's a bad dude that dealt with bad people. Because sometimes that's how it is too. Sometimes you F around with the wrong people and they come out to get you and you're done. Yeah. So, or it could be a case of, hey, why is it that we don't hear about Epstein and the client list and all that stuff, but this guy gets gigged for trafficking supposedly right away? Like, what's the deal with that? So I think a lot of people are like, so this guy's making a prominent rise in, one side of the political spectrum here. Let's take him out with the same stuff that they've been going after us, that we've been covering up for years now, and just throw it in their face. So who knows? It could be any of those things. And unfortunately, with the Epstein stuff, you're always skeptical now of like the elites and people in power. And with Jack Murphy and Eliza Blue, you're always suspicious of anybody that comes out here, because you don't know if they're just trying to get a good grift to cover up like a past life that they had where they were doing sketchy stuff.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's kind of the problem.
Absolutely. Now, Stephen right here, and thank you, Stephen. Legal Mindset is doing a good job covering Andrew Tate. He'll only deal in facts and evidence and not sound bites and podcast clips. Don't agree with the whole Matrix has me thing. Sounds delusional. That's interesting because I actually spoke with Legal Mindset, and I'm gonna go on his show very soon, and then I'm sure we can get him into the snake pit. We can get him on CobraCast very soon. So that's going to be really cool to be on with Legal Mindset. And maybe we can talk about that particular topic among many others. I'm sure he and I can talk about Eliza Blue and that whole scenario. That would be pretty cool. But yeah. I see Joe Latina locked and loaded here. Let me give her a wrench really quick. Bam, right there. There you go, Joe. And so you guys, again, if you're new to anything about Rolo, give him a real quick pitch, a real 30-second pitch on your channel, Rolo, and who you are.
Yeah, my Locked and Loaded Latinos. My wife and I actually got into YouTube to get into Second Amendment advocacy, so gun rights. We got into that a few years ago. We got invited to a lot of podcasts. Our good friend Hank Strange had both Joe, my wife, and I separately. And eventually he was like, wait a second, you guys are pretty good at this. Maybe you guys should do your own show. And we did that. And we started talking about gun rights and all that stuff mostly. And obviously with all the stuff that we've got in the background here, pop culture was a big aspect of it, and trying to show like, hey, gun owners aren't like these typical like racist white supremacists, all this crap that people always try to throw out there. So we wanted to show a different image and get a different side of things. So that's pretty much what we do. And we talk about all that stuff every week on Sunday on our show. We also stream video games. Nice.
Well, Rolo and Joe are good peeps, so definitely go check them out. Vets React says, miss you on FNT, DI Cobra. Yeah, sorry. I am currently in Pensacola and tending to some family stuff, but so this is the old setup for anyone that's new to this, D-Day Cobra channel or CobraCast and not familiar with Geeks and Gamers. This is my original setup here, although I don't have everything hooked up like I used to here. So that's why I'm operating off a laptop. So, but if I keep grifting, maybe I can get me another computer here. We'll see. I see we have 10 gifted memberships from Valkyrie Winter and from Bradley Burnett. That's 20 gifted memberships total.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up. Hell yes. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. Next story we're going to talk about everyone's favorite, AOC. So Hollywood Scholar or Minority Home, if one of you can pull that link and put it in private chat. So AOC, and she's under some investigation. Oh, we already got it. So Jed's already got it there. So if you can pull that up, Rolo. Yep. And here we go right here. If you can blow that up a little bit, and then I'll be able to, because I'm not going to be able to read the font. So the House Ethics Panel to further investigate Ocasio-Cortez over Met Gala gifts. This is she is such a clown. AOC is such an insufferable piece of garbage.
She is.
Mav Dick has the bounce. Bye, Mav Dick. We appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, AOC is a disaster. Somebody send Eric K the link to the StreamYard so he can be backstage and let me know about these membership messages, by the way. Yeah, so she is an insufferable piece of trash, and we've seen some of her antics of late with how she talks to people, talks down to people. It's absolutely ridiculous. So she wore a tax the rich dress to the Met Gala, and just a disaster. Scroll down a little bit. Let's read a little further into it. So the House Ethics Committee disclosed Thursday that it had extended its review of AOC's appearance at the 2021 Met Gala over an allegation that she may have accepted impermissible gifts associated with the event. Oh, no. No.
Really?
I would never have believed AOC would be telling everyone how we need to tax the rich, yet taking gifts from the rich.
Telling me her mom didn't make that dress for her?
Yeah. In the joint statement, the committee chairman, Michael Guest, and ranking member Susan Wild announced that they decided in December to extend their review into the allegation after it received a referral from the Office of Congressional Ethics. In the 18-page report prepared by the Officer of Congressional Ethics that was made public Thursday, the panel detailed its investigation into the allegation that AOC may have violated House rules, standards of conduct, and federal law. It concluded that there was substantial reason to believe that she did not accept impermissible gifts. House rules prohibit, where'd it go? House rules prohibit lawmakers from accepting gifts such as gratuity, favor, discount, entertainment, hospitality, loan. I can't even read that one. What is it for? The words are so
or
small.
Other items having
yeah, there we go.
value.
Okay, there we go. So during the 2021 gala, AOC was provided with a, I can't even, blow it up one more time, a little bit more. Blow it up a little bit more. I'm on a small ass laptop right now. There we go. A contour dress, handbag, shoes, and jewelry. The ethics report said she also received hair, makeup, transportation, and ready room services. If this were Trump, they would be, now again, it's not even that this is that terrible, but my point being that is if this was Trump, they would be calling for him to be locked up for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? And the fact is I don't think what she did is overly terrible in isolation, but those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. So she's always telling you how everyone else is a terrible person. Yet here's AOC going to an event like this with all of these A-list celebrities and these millionaires and billionaires with a tax the rich dress on, while she could have been breaking House ethics rules right in front of us. What is your opinion of AOC, Rolo?
Oh man, well, AOC is a disgrace. I mean, there's a lot of different facets to AOC. Whether you believe that she's kind of been planted there, that she's been trained up, she's kind of a fake politician, or that she, kind of stumbled in upon this, and you can see it right here that she's somebody that just has no experience or anything like that. But it's not no experience in politics the way that like Trump or somebody else has it. It's in that she knows absolutely nothing about history, nothing about the way things work. It's all emotions and social media. That's all that AOC has got. And so she is really like the quintessential social media like politician. She knows how to make posts, how to really piss people off and all that stuff. So I give her credit in that regard. Like she really knows how to do things and like flaunt things like flagrantly. That's what she loves to do. She loves to basically talk a lot of garbage, and then around the corner she's like, oh, I'm gonna do exactly what I was just talking shit about. And she loves it. She loves it because everybody on Twitter or Instagram just goes up to her and is like, slay queen, you own them. And that's all she cares about at the end of the day. She doesn't care about what we say, and she knows it.
Yeah, she's such a disaster. And I saw Mike McGinnis said her gay husband supports this. Shout out to Alex Stein, Primetime 99. That's ultimately who AOC is in love with, and I know that she gets really jealous when other people, spend time with Alex, and I just want everyone to know that AOC loves Alex Stein. Does anybody remember when she was it the listen when she's listen? What was that? Wasn't that where was that at? It was at a protest, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
She was like, listen. Let's see. I'm trying to look for it now. I'm also here's Inside Edition. Look at this. Just for everybody, if everyone forgot, let me remind everyone that we have this one right here. Here we go.
AOC is calling out the creepy guy who hassled her on the Capitol.
You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very.
None of my videos are playing, but look at this pathetic loser right here. Look at this pathetic loser. I mean, look, she definitely got the big booty Latina part going on.
Sexy. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
my videos are not playing right now, but yeah, because I think it's my laptop. But yeah, I mean, we love Alex Stein, and AOC is she kind of represents this entire generation. She's a perpetual victim. She builds in victim mentality into everything she does, when in reality, she's the one that you should be looking out for. And what is she, a former bartender? Yep. She's got her music videos out there. She's got her thought videos out there. She fake cries at the border, like she actually cares about these things. What a pathetic human being she is. Yeah, I just saw that. I got that notification. Tom Sizemore just died. If we can get an article, I'm sure there's at least some details on that. Was he sick? Was Tom Sizemore sick?
I forgot what had happened. Somebody could mention that. I read the other day.
That's not it, is it? Okay.
Yeah, no,
yeah, you're still sharing your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Tom Sizemore dead at 61 years old.
Yep.
Wow. Tom Sizemore dead at 61. Tell me when I can share your
brain aneurysm. That's what it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So he's been in the hospital for about 2.5 weeks now, it looks like.
Yep. I know his family was basically making end of life plans, and I think they had to take him off life support because he was pretty much brain dead.
Wow.
I'm not mistaken. So
there's Horny Alf says Tom Sizemore has been in ill health for
he's had drug issues and
damn.
Yep.
R.I.P. F's in the chat for Tom Sizemore. Wow. So what all has he been in? I know obviously Saving Private Ryan. He's been in a lot of stuff. I don't know if we have a list right there in the article there. Black Hawk Down, Strange Days, Heat. He was great. Heat was great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so brain aneurysms are scary, dude. Like, because it can just happen.
There's nothing you can do. Yeah. Yep.
So it's just like 1 second you're there, the next second you're gone. So definitely rest in peace to Tom Sizemore, and thoughts and prayers to his family. Yes, we say thoughts and prayers around here at CobraCast, and we're not going to apologize for it. Thanks, Jed, for the link to his IMDb page. That is, man, that's tough right there. Okay. Rolo has not seen the latest Daily Wire promo.
No, now, I know what they did. But I haven't seen the promo yet.
Listen, I've been critical of Daily Wire. I've been critical of a lot of people on the conservative side recently. And I'm supportive of, in theory, the conservative side. I'm in support of it, but a lot of the people involved in it. So I've been kind of critical of Daily Wire. What Jeremy Boring did today was fucking amazing. There is nothing but it's so good. All right. So this all starts with Hershey. So if we can get this trans advertisement from Hershey, we're going to play that first. We're going to set the table for everybody, and we're going to tell you what happened. And then we're going to show you what Jeremy Boring of the Daily Wire did. If you can grab that article that Jed. All right, here we go. So boycott threatened over transgender inclusion in Hershey's Woman's Day promotion. First of all, this is beyond ridiculous in every single way. I'm so tired of it. I'm so sick and tired of the propaganda and the bullshit. You're a chocolate company.
Yep.
What the fuck? But honestly, I'm going to say something. In 2023, it is incredibly scary to be a woman in 2023. because they are trying to take mentally ill dudes, put a
Mm-hmm.
wig on them, and say that's a woman. They're letting them take over women's sports. They're letting them represent women in politics. They're letting them represent women in entertainment. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Women's records, long-standing women's records, are being destroyed by biological men. And no one has a problem with this. And we know people have a problem with this, but the powers that be don't have a problem with this. And it's fucking ridiculous. And I'm sick and tired of it. And you're sick and tired of it. Everybody in the chat's sick and tired of it. We're tired of this. And it's only going to get worse. Right now, 2023, I know it's easy to say that as a straight white male, you know, that we're being targeted, and we clearly are. But even a straight male, it literally, if you're just not a freak, you're getting targeted. And so, but women right now, I think women are getting it worse than anyone because of what we're seeing. And by the way, everybody, I did have my Rumble link set up, and for some reason it didn't connect. So I tried to get it set up. I got an error message right when I went live. So my apologies for not being on Rumble. But anyway, this is the ad. Let's play this ad from Hershey's on International Women's Day. Go ahead, play that clip.
All right. See, do I have sound? No. There we go.
You didn't share audio. You need to reshare it.
Okay.
Yeah, just unshare and then click the audio tab.
Okay.
So this is how Hershey's decided to celebrate International Women's Day right here. Think about this for a minute, okay? They took a dude, a biological dude, and decided that's how they're going to celebrate International Women's Day, by having a biological dude pretending to be a woman, and that's how they're going to celebrate women.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see if that works now.
Our honest and authentic selves.
Hear it?
Back it up.
Changing how we see the future. My name is Faye Johnstone. I'm the executive director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves. See the women changing how we see the future at Hershey's Canada. My name is Faye Johnstone.
Oh my! You were sharing all my audio, so I moved as soon as I started talking.
No problem.
So that's what Hershey's did. It's like, seriously, like, it's beyond ridiculous. And this is why we've talked about so many things, whether it's the entertainment world, whether it's movies, whether it's, you know, sports, whether it's video games. They're going to destroy every fucking thing. Social justice is a disease. I've said it 1,000 times. It's a disease. And what happens with diseases? If something, just like anything, if a disease takes over a healthy body, and if you don't address that disease sooner than later, it's going to destroy even the healthiest of bodies. But if it takes over a weak body, it will overrun that body in no time at all. Social justice is a disease. So we see it take over different things, and it has a different impact on things, determining the health of it. Something like Star Wars, it took a little while because Star Wars was pretty healthy, but that social justice disease got into it, and eventually no one cut it out. And not only did they not cut it out, they embraced it, they encouraged it, they helped it spread, and now it has destroyed everything Star Wars. Same with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel was a very healthy franchise, but eventually it's taken it over. You know what wasn't healthy? Well, women's sports wasn't healthy to begin with. But when you start letting dudes come in there with wigs and destroying it, then it's just going to, it's just done. It's done. And so wokeness is everywhere. This is why if you have an element of wokeness, you have to cut it out. You have to get rid of it or it will destroy. Well, the Daily Wire, they don't have a wokeness problem. So we need to pull up Jeremy Boring's Twitter. And this is one of the best ads I have ever seen. And the fact that they responded so quickly to this Hershey's ad, they responded so quickly. And here it is right here with Jeremy Boring of the Daily Wire. He did this with Harry's Razors. Harry's Razors went woke. And then Jeremy Boring saw that. And what was it? They were a sponsor. And I think they pulled out of the Daily Wire. And so Jeremy Boring decided, I'm just going to create Jeremy's Razors. And he made this really cool commercial. And it went over really good. And so I guess quickly, like, I don't really know how quick they turned this around. I mean, this Hershey's thing only broke. Yeah, this Hershey's thing broke just like a couple of days ago. So hang on, I'm going to share that in a minute because you're sharing all audio. So it's going to pick up my voice. So,
gotcha.
So this Hershey's thing happened just a couple of days ago. And then just today, Jeremy Boring comes out with this, one of the best ads I've ever seen. So we're going to watch this. Here we go.
International Women's Day is upon us again. And I love an international woman. But our friends over at Hershey's, they don't even know what a woman is. They've hired a biological male to be the spokesperson for their Women's Day campaign. And they're calling that campaign, and I swear I'm not making this up, Hershey. Hershey. It's humiliating. And it's the reason that I'm launching Jeremy's chocolate. We have two kinds, she, her, and he, him. One of them's got nuts. If you need me to tell you which one it is, keep giving your money to Hershey's. But if you're tired of giving your money to woke corporations that hate you, and you're looking for a delicious chocolate bar from a company that actually wants your business, head over to IHateHersheys.com and order Jeremy's chocolate today.
That is the best ad I have ever heard. They have two bars, she, her, and he, him. Yep. He, him is with nuts, and she, her has no nuts. Holy
if
shit,
I have to
dude.
tell you which one it is, then get out of it.
That's the greatest
good.
thing I've ever seen, dude.
That's awesome.
And that right there, that is what, like, for all of my criticism of Daily Wire at times and conservatism and conservatives, that right there, that's a winning strategy. So Jeremy Boring did it with Harry's Razors. Okay. He came out with the sports car and he's got his sunglasses and he's acting super arrogant. Now he does it again.
Yep.
That is like having Brett Cooper there dressed up as a hot chick, you know, having Michael Knowles stand like that right there. That's how you build out culture. That's how you impact culture. And I think that was phenomenal. Like that's 10 out of 10. Okay. So that was your first time watching it, Rolo. What do you think?
I thought it was awesome because look, you can't just be reactionary and say, well, I'm just going to make my own company. You have to make fun of them too, because that's the key. Because over the years, what's the first thing that they've tried to destroy and that they've thoroughly destroyed? It's comedy. Because that's the most, because comedy is where you get ridiculed. This is how like a free society works. If you don't have comedians that can make fun of like the elites, politicians, the man on the street, like that keeps a culture in check because they call out the bullshit that's going on. And then you can make fun of it or you just like chill things out because you're like, okay, this is not that big of a deal. We can laugh about this. But this is the key because you have to make fun of this. I know Rippa and I have talked about this before. You have to ridicule these people. You have to make fun of them because it's ridiculous. These are men pretending to be women or women pretending to be men, vice versa, or something in between in a lot of cases. And I think that this really is the biggest fight that we've got going on. Like, you know, Ukraine, all this stuff. This is a big deal. Politics, what happened with COVID. That's all a big deal, but this is literally like reality. If you can't say what a man is or what a woman is, like that's it. They can unravel everything else. They can say that the sky is red. They can say that like the Constitution, freedom of speech doesn't even mean what it says. They'll change the definition of each word to define something else. Like if you destroy this foundation, it's done. Like that's it. It's a wrap. You can't do anything else.
No, absolutely. And I saw a few people saying, well, Jeremy Boring is very arrogant. So he's not, and that's the key to it though. Like how many times, like I'm an old school professional wrestling fan and leaning into your true personality and just kind of elevating it times, 10 or whatever. That's people connect that because if Jeremy Boring is, and I know he's an arrogant guy, but if he is an arrogant guy and then he's leaning into that for the purpose of marketing, then I think you can appreciate his genuine arrogance at least a little more instead of it being off-putting because he's not trying to fake it. So he's just leaning into it more. So I'm like someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think is one of if not the greatest wrestlers to ever live, but like Stone Cold, just he took his real personality and it was like he just upped it times 10. And that's the person you see is who he really is. It's just like Stone Cold's not going to be running around in public, kicking people in their gut and dropping stunners on them. But he's also not somebody who's going to back down in public, but he just amped that up. And so Jeremy is just amping his personality up publicly. And I think that's a huge win. Conservatives have to get out of their own way. Quit putting these fake images out there. Quit trying to pretend that you're something you're not. Just own who you are and be authentic. And as much as I've never been a fan of Jeremy Boring per se, like the individual, but the more he does stuff like that, I'm like, I respect the hell out of him. You know what I mean? So I hope we see more of that. I really do.
I think he understands the market that he's trying to go for. So that's That's pretty important. So if you know your market, you know what you can kind of do and get away with and what's going to work. So I think in this case, this works. Now, I know like some people are like, well, this is all a distraction. I was like, you can think that, but you got plenty of time to talk about different things. And let's be honest, again, like this is kind of a fundamental issue. Like I can't worry about like the war in Ukraine or anything of this stuff. Like if this is like what America represents, like I know that this was a Canadian Hershey's commercial, but we know they would try to do the same crap here and they've done it before. I mean, look at, I think, lingerie company, which one, how could I forget which one was getting in trouble now because they had, basically men modeling women's lingerie. And it's like, dude, this is not going to work. Like it's going to blow up in your face. And again, like if this is what the culture of America is going to be, then it's like, wow, we don't deserve to win anything as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't want this to be what the ideal is that we push throughout the world.
Was it Victoria's Secret? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, I think Victoria's Secret. Yeah. Okay. I think that they had an issue and a backlash with that stuff. And we've seen a lot of other like makeup companies have issues with that where, you're showing off, you have men basically showing products to women. And it's like, no, these are products for women that women should be selling to women, just like you have men sell products to men. It's not because you're trying to be a bigot or anything like that. It's just logical. Like that's how it is. You got to set an example. You're marketing things towards certain people. You have to use the right people to do it.
Absolutely. And Stone Cold is a true legend. Yes, he is. Did I see? Holy shit, that Tim Pool picture. But did you see his Twitter blue comments talking about who? Jeremy Boring? I need to specific on that.
I gotta see.
I don't know what he was talking about. Look, clearly Twitter blue. When you got Mark, like you got Facebook and Instagram are pretty much copying Twitter blue's template. So Elon Musk is the richest man in the world for a reason, and so that's just he's setting a different trend. I know what you're talking about. He looks down on us. He and Tim Pool can spoon in the same van as far as I'm concerned. I think you're talking about Jeremy Boring from a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think. I mean, again, so I'm not a fan of Jeremy Boring, the individual, but I like that type of stuff that he did today because, again, it's part of a bigger picture of what's trying to happen with the culture. But in terms specifically, no, look, I have every reason to want to try and compliment the Daily Wire. We've collaborated with them. They invited us out to Tennessee for Gina Carano's movie premiere. They've been great to us, but I still got to call things like I see it. And I have some problems with which I personally think that they're basically they're pretty much the Ron DeSantis marketing team now, which again is not necessarily a bad thing because I do love Ron DeSantis, but they're just so negative on Trump while doing it. And that's really a turnoff for me. And I've said as much. And so, but again, as I said, I work for you guys. I work for everybody in the chat. And that's all I'll ever want to do is work for you guys. Maria, I did get your message earlier. I meant to respond. Twitter took my blue check mark today. I have no idea why. I was going to ask you, did you change your profile or did your profile picture or your name or anything like that? Or even, I don't know if it takes it away temporarily when you change your header, but if you changed anything, sometimes they will temporarily take it away, from what I understand. So, look into that, and then hopefully they get that situated for you. Because so when I got Twitter blue, I got the blue check mark, and then I changed my profile picture just to see if it would take the blue check mark away, and it did. And then they reinstated it like not too long after, so I'm not sure. You're still sharing your screen, by the way,
okay,
Rolo. So, I see all of the. Never mind. I'm not going to make anything.
The MSN homepage and Twitter. But Twitter's worse than anything else you can go and find on the internet these days. Let's be honest.
But yeah, I will be back on Friday Night Tights next week. I see many of you asking about that. But yeah, I just I'm in Pensacola this weekend, so trying to get some family stuff done, and then I'll be back on the grind next week, and I'll be back on FNT next week. I probably will do a CobraCast tomorrow. No promises. It may just be a quick one, but I might do one tomorrow. I'll let you guys know about that. But yeah, with the Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring, I was an annual supporter of the Daily Wire. And after all that stuff with Crowder, and I wasn't even on Crowder's side. I was kind of on neither side, but I kind of leaned with Daily Wire a little bit. But ultimately, I pulled my subscription from them too, because I'm like, I got a lot of problems with these guys, and I hope they continue to do what they're doing. And but for the time being, I wasn't going to support them with my money. So let's see. D-Day Cobra, please show Matt Walsh's speech in Tennessee today about anti-trans kids law. Jed, you want to see if you can find that for us? Share it in the private chat. Let me get a couple super chats while we're looking for that. And let's see where we at. All right. Patrick C says, we all missed old school Jeremy. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hayden says, Jeremy gets the beard of shame for not being on FNT. Whoever makes FNT late on Fridays gets beard of shame for CobraCast. Also, Biden had cancer. Yes, we're going to talk about that shortly. We might not get a beard of shame graphic tonight because Jay Hailstorm is not here. So I don't know. Jay Hailstorm has literally no power right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to get that.
Poor
we
guy.
will see. I know. Mav Dick says, beard of shame for you being late, Jeremy. Damn, everybody wants me to get the beard of shame. Lost Tales, $2. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Westward Smile, $2. Cobra. Gerald Armstrong, Jay's nickname on this show should be J6. Critic 19, everyone give Eric K a hail. Hardest working mod. Eric K, you get a hail. Oh, God. I don't know what he's doing. Are you there? No, it's not. I don't know.
He's working hard. He's working hard.
Shout out to him. Cam Man is the other one. Cam Man's always there too. So Eric K and Cam Man and the rest of the mods, shout out to all of you. Appreciate all of you. Beard of shame goes to Jay Hailstorm for not being here. That was good. Bradley Burnett, I got the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. Marcus Henry says Rolos are weird. Shaker Maker can't stay, but Snake Pit represent. Cobra Crew. Let them know you're here. I appreciate all of you guys. Man, it's just awesome to see the enthusiasm for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no problem, Eric. Eric was in the family room. Sorry about that, Eric. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. It's a long one. Oh, okay. You want to pull that one up?
Yeah, it's like 16 minutes, so I don't know which part is the best.
Yeah, we're not gonna react to a 16-minute video. Is there specific, is there a good point? Maybe, I don't know. I'd like to watch it, but we're not going to.
If somebody's got like a Twitter link or something of like a good clip on Twitter or something, like 1 or 2 minutes at the most.
Yes, that's an excellent point right there. Psych Monger says, "Hail CobraCast! Did you hear about the Daily Wire response to Hershey's? Yes, we just played that and it was awesome." Doomed says maybe they will make classified USS Flag. I mean, if they did that, I don't think they would, but that would be pretty freaking cool if they did that. That would be next level. Anon says, little nitpick on Daily Wire. Why say biological male? Just say man. Seed no ground. Fair point. Fair point for sure. Yeah. Jolly Roger says, Jeremy's chocolate sold over 100,000, over 1 million views on the promo in 10 hours. Daily Wire for the win. Also, Daily Wire Kids content drops in April and King Author adaptation coming later this year. Can't wait. Love the Daily Wire. They've sold 100,000 already.
Wow.
Woof.
That's impressive.
That is pretty damn good right there. That's pretty impressive. And that's what you have to do. Jeff Atkins for 10 says, drink one for the working man. Woke up at 6:30. Still got a few hours to go. Thanks for keeping me entertained. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. Mav Dick says, Krista, I know an easy way to get citizenship. I don't think she's here, but I think I know what you're talking about. Joe C818. I'm here for another great stream. Hail CobraCast. Hail Rolo. Hail Steph. Hail Geeks and Gamers. Cheers. Thank you. Flagrant Triggers. The Legion of Memers merches unleashed. Pretty sick hats, shirts, and hoodies from the best meme lords this side of 69 for 69. Hail to the fellowship. Nice. Chef Nick Nero says, Jeremy apologizing like we haven't been through car videos. Westford Smile. The new job training modules have been a killer. Thanks for getting me through it one CobraCast at a time. Thank you. I really do. I'm really happy that you guys enjoy this show. it's awesome having Rolo on here. And I'm sure this won't be the last time you see Rolo on CobraCast, but you've seen him all over Geeks and Gamers too. Rolo's kind of everywhere. He's the good gaming perspective at Geeks and Gamers. So he's the good gamer. Mavdick says, what do you think of Jurassic Park? My favorite movie. Jurassic Park was one of the greatest theatrical experiences I've ever had, because watching those first scenes with the dinosaurs was I couldn't believe my eyes. I don't know how did you watch it in theaters or?
Oh yeah. Okay. And I was a kid, but I was 8 or 9, but I remember it, man. It really was Steven Spielberg at that time. That was nearing, that was in his golden age, probably towards the latter half of his golden age. And I think the combination of practical effects, I think the CGI still holds up. There's a bunch of movies that you see today that you're Jurassic Park was made in the early 90s and the CGI is better in that movie. If they did a remaster, it would be perfect just for those scenes. But the practical effects were amazing. The entire concept was amazing because I read the books, and even though it diverged a lot, it was still seeing that come together and come to life and have it be such a serious movie about it's a pretty crazy science fiction premise, but they made it work on screen. It was awesome because a lot of dinosaur movies are usually regular monster movies like Godzilla and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with those. They have their place, but this was this is a serious, legit movie with dinosaurs in it. And that was pretty awesome. Especially as a kid, it was whoa, man, these things look real. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it was mind blowing. And look, I'm a fan of Jurassic Park 3. I know that's kind of sacrilegious, but there's only 2 good Jurassic Park movies, in my opinion. The first one is next level. This third one, I know it's got problems, but I enjoy it because it's back on the island. And it makes me, that's what I loved about Jurassic Park. So I like Jurassic Park 3. I know. Sue me,
man.
But the dude says, why weren't you at F&T but you're here? Money. I mean, I like money, so I am here for money. I also like the show, and yes, I missed Friday Night Tights for the first time. I mean, I've missed a few, but yeah, I guess I don't know. My family is not worth my time, I guess. So the dude, I will just drop all of my family obligations and make sure I'm on F&T for you and never make another dime. Please don't send any more super chats. At least we don't want to upset the dude anymore. So please don't send any more. We don't want the dude to be mad at super. Oh, as a matter of fact, there's a 50 from Hayden, dude. 50. So sit the fuck down. Shut the fuck up. Hayden for 50 says Yellow Flash has covered a small bit of this, but here's the real scoop. Pakami is a VTuber who has decided to retire because of harassment and wanting to play Hogwarts Legacy. Her community has gone totally anti-LGBTQ mafia. It's getting real dark. I did see the notification from Yellow Flash. I want to look into that one. Listen, man, this is a break. There's always a breaking point with leftist bullshit. Okay, there's always a breaking point, and leftist ideology is all about overstepping. You know what I mean? Because normal, every human being, as you grow up and you become an adult, and you have to, what being an adult is and what being responsible is in life, when you're dealing with fellow level-headed people, you ultimately have to make things called compromises, okay? Because people typically don't agree a lot. Sometimes we agree, but in life, you have to compromise with people you have any type of relationship with, whether that's a romantic relationship, a friendship, a work relationship. Compromise. Okay? So leftists don't know what the meaning of compromise is. Leftists essentially say, here's what I believe, and you have to believe it. And you're like, but I don't believe that. Oh, you're fucking racist. You're a sexist. No, I just don't agree, but maybe we can have common ground. So then the leftists will beat this person down with, accusations of racism, sexism. You hate women, you hate black people, you hate trans people, you hate this person, you hate that person. And then you finally will go I don't hate women. I mean, I'll donate some money to this cause. Why are you donate? So once you give in to them, they just keep pounding the same fucking thing. And then when you cure whatever fake problem they've invented, they then invent another problem. Well, then someone else is more oppressed. And then someone else is more oppressed. So you just don't give in at all, because life with normal people, compromise is part of it. Compromise, work things out, find some common ground, all of that. For normal people, leftists, they don't know what compromise is. And if you try to compromise with them, you have already lost. So you never give them anything. So with the Hogwarts Legacy situation, we're seeing leftists eating each other alive now. And in the name of one of the most prominent leftists on the planet, J.K. Rowling, she's a leftist. She's a lunatic. She's a psychopath. And just so you know, Jeremy, Yellow Flash is missing it. Pack-a-me community is getting to the point of saying a group is overdue. It's getting wild. Look into the community deep dive. They've got
the backlash. They have a total backlash.
Okay. Got you. And so, so it's leftists and the Hogwarts Legacy situation has been, it's breaking a lot of people's brains with it, because what was it? Hassan was just like, I mean, why would I don't want to play it, because I don't want to get yelled and called a transphobe. And I mean, I love trans people and I love gay people, but I just want to play Hogwarts Legacy and I can't do it because the chat will come after me. And it's like, yeah, that's what leftists do, bro. They want to ruin your happiness. They want to determine your happiness based on their fake victim mentality. You know, that's why, like, I could never, like, me and Eric July, we're friends. Okay. We don't agree on a lot of things, like, you know, certain political takes, all that. Clearly he ain't a Trump guy and I am. Eric doesn't call me and go, Jeremy, man, I can't do Tuesday Night's Main Event if you don't denounce Trump. You know, like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, he don't like him, but he don't need me to denounce him for it. You know, it's weird. What do you think about the leftist hive mind?
Well, I mean, this has always been the strategy that they have. You know, they have to conform. That's what communists do. Communists are all about the collective and everything like that. And if you don't conform, then they will overrun you. It was like what happened in China. That's what they did with their revolution. They had the students go out. The students would literally kill people, go after like their teachers and things like that, make them answer for stuff, and then, you know, burn them at the stakes in some situations, literally. So this is basically the online version of that. And it's the same tactics that these people use. And it's because they don't have anything else. They know that their arguments can never win. They know that either they're making an argument on emotion or it's just complete and total bullshit. Like it's something that's not even there. And they have to go after you collectively, because individually they can be convinced. This is why, like, you'll go to rallies and things like that. And if you start trying to talk to like protesters that are on the left, their like handlers will be like, don't talk to them, blah, blah, blah. It's not because they hate you so much that they don't want to talk to you. It's because they know that if you're able to get into an individual and talk to them and say like, hey, like, you know that you're totally wrong about this situation, or you're protesting about something that's totally like off base, you might get through to them. But if you are facing like 10 people yelling at you, you're never going to get through. It's just going to be this wall. And so that's the only way that they can protect their insanity, is by having a collective defense, pretty much.
Well, it's like, what was it with Gina Carano when like Disney wanted her to get on a Zoom call with like 40 or 50 trans activists at the same time. And you're like, what? Yeah. It's just insane. Alec Baldwin's finger says, just got here. What I miss? Well, Alec Baldwin's finger don't miss. We know that much.
No, unfortunately.
But we've talked about AOC. We've talked a little bit about Andrew Tate. And we were just talking about leftist mentality overall. And there's this VTuber. And Hayden wants me to look into this VTuber story, which I will. And then some guy was mad at me because I'm making money, apparently. So please don't send super chats unless you want to upset the dude. We don't want to upset him.
To what Hayden was saying, I mean, I've always been concerned about this too, that eventually you're going to push back. You're going to push people so hard that they're going to go crazy in return. Like, that's always the concern, that people, especially like you've seen for a long time, conservatives, and I know people talk about this with the Daily Wire, like, well, let's try to work with them, or like, let's be a little bit nicer here. Like, let's not talk like Trump or other people and be so brusque and rough. And it's like, after a while, you have to know you have to fight. Like, there's no other way that you're going to deal with this. If you're not willing to get a little bit down and dirty and all of that. But at the same time, if you sit there with that mentality of like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to sink down to their level. I don't want to do anything like that. Like, we have to show that we're the better men all the time. Eventually, like, they're going to beat you down so hard. You're going to be in the dirt because all the time you've been saying like, we can't do this. We can't push back this way. We got to be better. It's like, dude, when you're in the dirt and they're smashing your head in, eventually you're going to go crazy if you still have a chance, and you might go all the way. And so that is a concern. So this is why we have to get to the point where we do have other outlets. We have to fight back, because you don't want it to get to the point where it just all blows up and it's like, well, we're not even going to talk anymore. Now it's just, we're all going to fight like physically in the real world instead of on the internet. So
the dude says, no, I was kidding, man. Damn it. And then Calter is, so if you're telling me if I send you money, that guy will get mad. Well, I don't think so now. Eric K says, dude, it's Jeremy's just busting your balls. That's what we do around here, man. We just talk shit. So, dude, you're good people, man. So thanks for rolling with it. That's what it's all about, man. You gotta roll with it and have fun. So I never can tell. So look at, like, Blue Eyed Scorpio comes in here every chat and says something really, really sarcastic to me. And he said it so many times that I kind of understand it now. Gung Ho Max, another one. There's several people that come in here and intentionally just talk shit to me because it's part of the meme. Mm-hmm. And so as you do it more often, I'll pick up on it. And a long time ago, because I was getting a lot of gotcha, I'll still send you money. Thank you. A long time ago, I was getting a lot of hatred from leftists and social justice weirdos, but it was funny. They're, racist, sexist, misogynist, women, all that shit. So I was like, this was back when I did my solo streams. I'm like, hey guys, from now on, like, if you see me getting hate online from like these leftists, just go in there and talk more shit about me, to the point where troll them so hard that they then have to go, no, I'm not trolling. I actually do hate him. So then they say something horrific just to prove their hatred, Mm-hmm. And it's worked a few times. Like, no, I really fucking hate him. Like, yeah, me too. He's a grifter. He's a liar. And it's so funny, man. So it's always fun to troll these weirdos.
Oh yeah.
But good takes from Rolo from that side of things. And so here's another Hayden. I think it's so is it Pick-a-Me? Audience is global. The Western audience, people complaining, has now pissed off people from Japan, Korea, South America, Indonesia, and all Western fans, plus normies, things being wild. And that's the thing, is like, you gotta understand, like, there's certain context. So again, I'm gonna look into this. I can't speak to the whole thing right now, but I will look into this and try to understand what's going on a little bit more. But I did see the video, or at least I got the notification from Yellow Flash. Didn't watch the video, but I hear what you're saying now, Hayden. So we're going to look into it. Thank you, Tiny Timmy Big Ego. Picture, dude. Oh my God.
It's so like Tim Pool in 20 years and he's lost everything.
Oh man.
Like, what happened? Where are they now?
I know it. Saying cancel Jeremy was a brilliant move. It really fucked with the SJWs. It took their tool away from them. Yes, that's what it was. So the cancel Jeremy campaign. So it was always cancel Jeremy. And that's some good times, man. But that's what happens, like, when we have these types of situations, we bring these memes into it, and look at that. Like, Judah kind of remembers that from all that time ago. By the way, and I haven't fully gotten into it yet, but I do have a locals community for D-Day Cobra, for the Cobra crew and the Snake Pit. So I don't know if Steph or Eric K has that link, but if you guys want to follow it, join it, support it. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like yet. But because whenever I joined locals before, like, locals kind of gave us the red carpet treatment for Geeks and Gamers. And so I have basically all the perks that came with it for our Geeks and Gamers community. I don't really have any of those perks with the D-Day Cobra community. I probably could get them, but my old locals contact is no longer there. He was really cool and he was really awesome. The new guy, I really haven't established a rapport with him yet, but I guess I need to reach out to him. Because I can't make any mods in that thing or anything. Like, I guess you got to have a certain amount of supporters or followers. I don't know how it works. So, cause they just kind of gave us everything, cause they basically courted Geeks and Gamers. So, like, we want you on locals. And I'm like, well, we already have a membership on the website, so I don't really know how that works. And, but So with D-Day Cobra, I'm just starting out at the ground level, and I don't really have any of the perks. So if you guys want to follow over there, and I'll work on trying to get that situated more. And on locals, I can do like live streams and actually say what I want to say. Mama Susan, or who's the new person at YouTube now?
Man, I don't know who. Yeah, that dude's name I forgot.
Yeah. Tiny Timmy Big Ego says Chuck Norris changed the light bulb once, and then he became electricity. There it is, right there. Now let me catch a couple super chats real quick. Stephen Wasick, I got that one. Westward Smile. Most gun owners want good people to be gun owners. What do you think about that one?
I mean, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I think that's a very realistic take right there.
Yeah.
Archer Blades. So what's this I'm hearing about DeSantis requiring registry for Florida bloggers to talk about him?
I read that today.
There's going to be more to this. I don't know anything about that. What's going on with that?
So I believe that a Republican from Lake Mary, which is in the Orlando, Central Florida area, I think northern like Orlando, threw this bill out, and I was like, this is like a BS bill, essentially saying that any bloggers that write stories about the governor or anybody in the cabinet pretty much has to register with the state. If they don't, they're fined like $25 a day after the article is written.
What?
Yeah, up to $2,500. And yeah, it's insane. I was like, this is some crazy shit. Like, as a Republican, if you're for free speech or anything like that, like, this needs to be thrown out immediately. Like, if there's any politician in Florida that's for this, I think that they're absolutely insane. Because, see, this is kind of like the Patriot Act, where it's like, well, we're going to pass this stuff, but the Democrats, if they're in power, they're never going to be in power, so they're never going to use this against us. And I'm like, no, dude, you're asking for this to blow up in your face.
Yeah, so Jed just dropped a link in the chat, so if you can pull it up and let's look at that.
Bring it up here.
Make sure you're not sharing audio, because it'll pick up our audio double if you do.
So
this is
here.
Look, man, I'm just saying, what I don't like. I love listening to Ron DeSantis. No,
it's not DeSantis. Remember, it's a Republican in Florida. Sorry.
Okay. I didn't know. So it's a Republican in Florida. Okay, here we go.
That's passing this.
Florida bill would require bloggers who write about the governor and legislators to register with the state. The bill proposed by Republican State Senator Jason Brodeur would also require bloggers who write about the state officials to disclose who is paying them and how much. What?
Yeah. So I'm sure that they're trying to get to like, well, what if there's a blogger writing bad stuff about DeSantis because but they're getting paid by like big pharma or something like that. I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, you still have freedom of speech. Like, I'm sorry, like people can talk shit and unfortunately they can lie. If it's like an individual blogger, you're going to go after them. I guess they're seeing bloggers as like almost as important as journalists and news organizations, but this is still like,
that is a yikes. That is a yikes. So it's not directly DeSantis.
No, it's the Senator Jason Brodeur.
Okay. All right.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Van, that's a serious problem. We need to get that addressed. That's a big problem on Griftcast. We need so funny story is, and I'm getting pissed off. So I think Jay, Drunk 3PO, I think Jay has broken the system. So when I usually send him $1 as a meme in a troll on his streams. Yeah. I can't, like, it's been breaking on me when I send $1, so I have to send $5, and I'm like, what the fuck? You're breaking, you're making me break characters. So no, but in all reality, sometimes you just have to close your program and reopen it. That's what happens to me whenever I'm sending it. But okay, let's read into this a little more. So Rollo, I'll let you read it
a Republican state senator in Florida has introduced a bill that, if passed, would require bloggers who write about Governor Ron DeSantis, his cabinet, or state legislatures to register with the state. Senator Jason Brodeur's bill, titled Information Dissemination, would also require bloggers to disclose who's paying them for their posts about certain elected officials and how much. If a blogger posts a blog about an elected state officer and receives or will receive compensation for that post, the blogger must register with the appropriate office within 5 days of the post, the legislator says. It defines a quote-unquote elected state officer as the governor, lieutenant governor, cabinet officer, or any member of the legislature. Failing to register would result in a fine of $25 a day and a penalty that would be capped at $2,500 per post. NBC affiliate WFLA of Tampa reported. The bill says that the blogger's reports to the state must include the individual or entity that compensated the blogger for the blog post and the amount of compensation received from the individual or entity. The bill defines a blog as a website or webpage that hosts any blogger and is frequently updated with opinion, commentary, or business content, but says the term does not include the website of a newspaper or other similar publication.
I don't like this.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Now, I saw someone said, where did it go? There was already a rule in campaign finance that deals with this. I don't know if that's true. I'd have to look further into it. I don't know where that comment went. Sorry, I can't find it, but I did see your comment about that. I don't like this, and I'm going to be honest. I see some new members. Thank you. I saw Van became a member. Crazy Clown Town became a member. Thank you so much. Here's what I'm thinking. All right. I'm of the belief, and again, I have to qualify every fucking time I talk about this. I have to qualify that I'm a huge fan of Ron DeSantis. Okay. I'm a huge fan of the great governor of Florida, and I do believe that he can become a transcendent president one day. But that said, much like the stuff with the anti-Trump stuff, I'm of the belief that DeSantis has super PACs and other people that are basically rolling out attacks on Trump, and he's playing the high road whenever he's asked about it. Oh, yeah, no, it's just, you know, I'm ignoring all of that stuff. We're focused on Florida. We're focused on, and it's like, dude, like, you're talking to Paul fucking Ryan of all people. Like, come on. Jeb Bush is a big friend and supporter of yours. Like, so when I see him playing that game, I don't like it because that's a typical political game that I don't like. So when I see this, it's like, is he involved in that at all? Again, it's a question. I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying it's a question. So I don't know.
Well, here's what I always tell people. Like, Joe and I got into the Second Amendment stuff after Parkland because Republicans passed gun control. So it's like, just because somebody's a Republican doesn't mean they're on your side. I mean, Ripa harps on this all the time, and it's absolutely true, especially sometimes in a state like Florida or a Texas where they've been Republican for so long. Some politicians that are Democrats just switch sides, and they're like basically left-wing Republicans because they know they can't run as a Democrat in a state like Florida or Texas in certain areas. So you end up with these guys that are basically like purple. They're rhinos. They're real rhinos, and they don't care about like gun rights. They don't care about freedom of speech, economic stuff or any of that stuff. They're typical like big government Republicans. So yeah. We see a lot of that in Florida, and part of it is like we straight up watched a video on our show. It was about gun rights, and they're like, well, we're not going to pass constitutional carry. That's where you can open carry without a license and all that stuff in Florida because we have too many foreign tourists, and they're not going to want to see people walking around with guns in places like that. And I was like, he said it straight up right there. I was like, he's a Republican. He's not really like pro Second Amendment. So you're going to find this everywhere. This could be a bad Republican. If DeSantis like promotes this, endorses it, then okay, well, this is crap. Like DeSantis is full of it. If he doesn't, and this is just some random Republican, it is what it is. They do a lot of stupid shit sometimes. Just pay attention to those guys.
True. And I did see this, and it's a fair question, but it's fine for Trump's people to do the same exact thing, pot, meat, kettle. I would argue the difference is that Trump says it publicly. Whatever his initiative is with people that are supporting him or fans of him, Trump's out there saying it. He's calling Ron DeSanctimonious publicly. That ain't very popular for a lot of Republicans or conservatives or potential voters, and he's still out there saying it. Trump wears his flaws on his sleeve. He wears it all on his sleeve. So that's why that's where the difference would be. But again, it's a fair question for sure. But I just think Trump owns it. And whereas I feel like DeSantis is playing your typical politician right now, that's what it seems like to me anyway. And again, that's why I say I'm not a Republican or a Democrat or conservative or anything. I'm just a Trump guy. So, that's going to, dude, I'm telling you, I don't think people are fully aware of how dirty this is going to get if DeSantis announces, this is going to be bad.
Trump can't handle himself. That's the problem because he takes everything so damn personally. And that's the problem. I love it when he trashes people. I love it when he does that stuff. But sometimes it's frustrating because I'm like, dude, like if you played this a different way, like you'd be like, it would be so much easier for you. And you'd have like way more allies that would like fight for you. But you just love like, boom, dropping it right there. I'm just going to shoot from, and that's why people love him. It's true. It's why people love him, but it's a double-edged sword because sometimes you're just like, man, you walked into that one. You really walked into that one with him. So it's feast or famine with Trump. That's pretty much how it is for him.
Speaking of banning people, mods, I've asked this multiple times. We've still not banned Dan Vask. So he's not a good person. Dude, somebody last CobraCast when I highlighted Dan, I told him to ban him. Some guy was like, is there something going on with Geeks and Gamers and Dan Vask? I always thought he was really friendly with them, but it seems like there's some bad blood. Mm-hmm. Dan is literally trying to take over this channel. January 6th. As a matter of fact, I was in the Twitch stream earlier, Geeks and Gamers Twitch, and I sent some bits because Chris was playing, and Chris was like, Jeremy likes to send bits to his own channel. And I said, this is Chris's channel. And then Dan said, Christowary 6th. You know, like Christowary 6th. Do you guys want to see Dan Vask on CobraCast in the near future? Funny. I think we need to get Dan Vask, although he may try to hijack the whole channel. I'm not sure I want that. We'll have to rename it Vaskcast. That's a little tongue twister right there. No, we'll call it CobraCast, then the January 6th edition when Dan's here. So that'll be good. That'll be good. By the way, so we got 1,200 people here.
Hell yeah.
If you guys are not aware of Rolo, the Puerto Rican Pistolero, 30-second spot, go.
My wife and I do a podcast every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time on our channel. We do video game streams too. We mostly talk about the Second Amendment, politics, our rights, a little bit of history, and entertainment too.
Big 2A people, big 2A people. So
yeah, we got the AR-15 right in the background. So
hell yeah, hell yeah! Look at that, Dan Cast with D-Day Cobra as guest. That's really good. Mods will be dropping links to their channel, so make sure you go subscribe to Locked and Loaded Latinos. Rolo's part of Geeks and Gamers. They're good people, and really appreciate him and Joe both. So, all right, now we got to talk about this situation with creepy Joe Biden, and this story about him having cancer removed. So while you can look in the private chat and see if Jed's got that one, and shout out to Hollywood Scholar. You'll be seeing more of him. So shout out to Jed, Hollywood Scholar. So Hayden says, quote, I hate the government and no government. VTuber Pipkin Pippa. Mr. Medicare had her on during his final stream. Oh, really? Okay. And Medicare has not streamed since that last stream. I think his health has taken a turn for the worse. And I hope we see more of Mr. Medicare. I hope, but maybe not. All right, here we go. Lesion removed from Biden's chest was common form of skin cancer, doctor says. Now, I think that's a reasonable thing. Skin cancer is a very common thing. Joe Biden's 80 though. Isn't he? He's 80 years old, right? Joe Biden's 80. That's not you have to be concerned about this. Like, yes, skin cancer is very common. It's typically not something you want to overreact to. I have not talked about this many times though. I might have mentioned this a time or two. But anytime the C word is directly tied to you, it's a terrifying experience. So I had a situation with melanoma years and years ago, and the way that the doctor handled it was awful. The worst bedside manner I've ever seen in my life. And it made me think I was going to die for like 2 weeks. This is before YouTube took off and everything like that. But it was, man, I was terrified. Essentially what happened was I had a spot on my shoulder. I had, a biopsy done. The biopsy came back and they needed to go deeper to determine if it had gotten to my system. So the second one, so the first time I took it, it's like, okay, this is normal, all good, no big deal. Had the biopsy done. I'm at work and I get a call like, I don't know, a week later. And they're like, I was like, hello? They're like, is this Mr. Griggs? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, this is so-and-so doctor from so-and-so. I'm like, okay. And they're like, I'm so sorry to tell you this. What the fuck are you sorry? Don't start a sentence out like that as a doctor. Well,
Jeez.
do not do that. And they're like, I'm so sorry, sir. Whoa. What are you sorry for? What are you sorry for? And, they're like, it's come back that, it's melanoma. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. So I freaked out. I left work. I called my family, and I'm like, hey, I couldn't talk, They're like, calm down. It's fine. Just come home. No big deal. So then, wife calls the doctor. The doctor gives the wife the same thing. And she's like, I come home and she's freaking crying her eyes out. I'm like, what? And she goes, it's so bad. It's so bad. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm going to die. I had a different biopsy done. They went deeper in. And for 2 weeks, I was literally I just didn't know what was going to happen. So for 2 weeks, I'm just in limbo. And I finally got the call from the doctor that I was clear. And I cried my eyes out like a fucking baby because I was so scared. So the whole point of that story is that no matter how serious or not serious a bout with cancer is, that word being connected to you is terrifying. Absolutely. Mentally terrifying, physically terrifying in some capacity. So you can't dismiss the seriousness of this right here. It might be minor. He's 80 years old. Mm-hmm. He's 80. He's supposed to be the leader of the free world. He doesn't know where he's at half the time. He's always bumbling about something. So do not let the media dismiss this as not serious because it's a problem. It's a problem because the man is 80. Go ahead and let's read into the article a little bit.
Yep. President Joe Biden's doctor said Friday that a lesion was removed from the president's chest last month. That a lesion removed from the president's chest last month was basal cell carcinoma, a common type of skin cancer. Dr. Kevin O'Connor wrote in a letter to the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, that the lesion was removed and biopsied. Quote unquote, as expected, the lesion tested positive for basal cell carcinoma, O'Connor wrote. All cancerous tissue was successfully removed, end quote, O'Connor wrote. Biden will continue dermatological surveillance going forward. He added, Biden's physician said, quote, no further treatment, end quote, was required. O'Connor said the area where the cancerous lesion was removed had healed nicely. The letter also said, quote, basal cell carcinoma lesions do not tend to spread or metastasize as some more serious skin cancers such as melanoma or squamous cell carcinoma are known to do, end quote. The lesion was initially removed during Biden's annual physical in February. The White House announced the lesion was removed at the time for testing.
So, I mean, again, I think that in isolation, like, this is probably like, if Joe Biden's not the leader of the fucking free world, if he's not the president of the United States, I'm probably like, okay, whatever, he doesn't know where he's at. He's bumbling all over the place. By the way, this was pretty funny. I bet you like it when they went deeper, huh, Jeremy? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Man, you walked into it though. It's like they had to go deeper. That was good.
And they're already thinking like the doctor's got the gloves, so it's like we're going in deeper, Jeremy.
I'm sitting here sharing a personal terrible story.
They're memeing it totally differently than you do. It's like in your shoulder over here. They're gonna meme something totally differently. Oh man.
Oh, it's awesome. I love it. Respect. Cobra, the snake pit, the Cobra crew don't fuck around. I love it. Yeah, so I don't know. Chat, do you think all things considered, Joe Biden being 80, Joe Biden doesn't know where he's at half the time? Do you think this is something that should be seriously looked at, or do you think this is a big nothing story? Again, I think that if Joe Biden doesn't present himself as a deranged, dementia-ridden old man, then okay, whatever, but I think all things considered, and didn't he say he had cancer like 2 years ago or something like that?
I thought he did say something like that.
Jed, look that up. I'm pretty sure he said that.
I think you got to look at this a few different ways. I think that as the people, we have a right to know, obviously, what his health conditions are and where his mental state is. But they're not going to tell us that. They're not going to tell us that for a lot of reasons. One, they don't want to embarrass themselves and everybody else that voted for him. I mean, look at what's been going on with Fetterman and how people feel about that. So it's the same thing here. Also, strategically, it's like we're on this path. It's like, well, we could go to World War III or not. And it's like, are they going to let like Putin know or Xi Jinping know that like this guy is out of town, man? Like he's gone. Like this is your chance to rob the bank because the security guard is off the shift right here. So, from that perspective, it's like they can't let them know that. So I don't trust anything that they regarding Biden's health, because from a strategic perspective, I know like they're going to lie about it, and they'll justify it too later on. Like if it all works out in retrospect, you'll find out 50 years from now, they're like, oh yeah, Biden was totally toast. Like it was like that previous president. I forgot that his first lady basically ran the House. I think it was Woodrow Wilson at like the end of his term, and people didn't find out until later. And we know that Nancy Reagan did a lot in the White House too, when Ronald's health was deteriorating. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, oh yeah, like Biden's not there at all. Like we inject him once a day so he can go do a press conference or show up in front of the cameras, and after that, the dude is like checked out. He's in a chair just sitting there.
Yep.
And Jill is the one doing everything.
Well, and there's right here, Jeremy, apply the same question to Trump. How would the media treat him if he had this? Exactly.
He's going to die. Like the dude's going to die like in 5 minutes. He's done.
And that's my, like 95% of my complaints typically deal with the double standards of the mainstream and Hollywood and all of that. Like, I don't really care as an individual level what people say, what people do, what's going on. I really don't. I look at the double standard and the hypocrisy. So you can go all the way back to like all of my videos on Brie Larson, that I made on Geeks and Gamers. People like, oh, you're just, well, what about this person that said that? It's like, but Brie Larson got away with stuff that no one else could get away with if they said it about another race and gender. Like if anybody would have said, I don't care what a 40-year-old black man thinks about A Wrinkle in Time, dude, oh my God, their career would be over, over. But because she said it about a white dude, and I'm like, well, that's not right. I don't care what she said in isolation. You can say what you want about anyone. The problem is they have kid gloves when you talk about white men, but you can't say anything about anyone else or you'll get canceled. My problem is the hypocrisy, not what is actually being said. And then I saw that I just got a super chat from, where did it go? Right here. Yeah, there we go. Jose. I like that you can take a joke. Never change, Jay. Hey, man.
You have to.
And the snake pit there's no mercy in the snake pit. I already know that. So it's all good, man. That's why we're here. We're here to talk about serious issues, address serious issues, but also have some fun in the meantime. That's what CobraCast is all about. We're going to continue to evolve the show, and with all of your support, we can take this thing to another level. And so I'm always happy every time like Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the official days that I go live for CobraCast. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, after Mario Kart on Monday, after Fortnite on Wednesday, then after Friday Night Tights on Friday. I would love to do it Monday, Wednesday, or Monday through Friday and just go head to head with Tim Pool. I'm not saying I could compete with him, but it would be fun to try. But it's just from a timing standpoint and all the other things that I'm committed to, I don't really have time, unfortunately. So
Steph found when Biden said they had cancer like a couple years ago.
All right, play it. So he did say this.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it yet, but let's see.
Dan Vask needs to make it. Snake Pit theme song win. We need to. What Dan Vask should do? He should recreate the opening of G.I. Joe the movie. We should use that as an inspiration, but change up some of the words. I think we'll play that. Jed or Steph, if you can find a high definition version of the opening theme song of G.I. Joe, the movie 1987, we're going to play that here towards the end so we can see what the chat thinks. All right, let's see. Here we go.
My mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
He literally
he said it. He's like, I've got cancer.
Full screen that. Let's play it one more time.
Yeah.
Full screen that. Let's play that one more time. Holy shit, this man ain't well. Here we go.
And rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. and why can't, for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
This man is what the fuck?
Oh man.
Oh, how long ago was that? What's the date on that?
Let's see. 2022, July 2022. So not even a year ago.
Holy shit, bro.
Oh man, he just lets he just leaves the cat out of the bag all the time. That's why they can't cover anything up with him. I mean, everybody we all know. Look, we all know, but they can't make it official. But we all know. Like the guy says it all the time. He admits it.
Oh my gosh, what the hell? All right, let's go back. So we got timestamps for that Matt Walsh clip. It looks like in the private chat. See if you can track that down. I'm gonna read a couple super chats while you're looking for that. We got Jared Armstrong. It's not Ocasio-Cortez. It's occasional Cortez. False says D-Day Cobra is a B1. Roast me, please. You just paid me $20 to roast you. What kind of fucking twat waffle pork wallet are you? What type of loser? $20 Canadian. Wait a minute. You're from Canada? You're from Canada and you want to be roasted? The most beta male country on the planet? Justin Trudeau. Look, at least we just meme. We're allowed to meme Biden, okay? You have to answer to the definition of beta males, Justin Trudeau. That's all the roasting you need. You don't need anything other than that. Holy shit. Go ahead. That's the quintessential male for the Canadian right there. Justin Trudeau. That's enough roasting for you there, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. America the Free 556. Thank you. Void Wraith $2. Thank you. Bird Up says Tom Sizemore was the lead in The Relic, a cheesy 90s horror movie that I love. R.I.P. Joe C. Hey Jeremy, did you see Sizemore as Pete Rose? Did he play Pete Rose? Are you asking me? Are you asking me if he could have? Because he could have. I don't. If he ever did, that would have been great casting. Patrick C. We all missed old school Jeremy. Thank you. God dang it. Oh, there's Salty Source Rex with 5 gifted D-Day Cobra memberships. Thank you so much for that. Trying to see. Oh, Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier for $1.99. Thank you. Judicon. Jeremy, you work for me, but somehow I keep paying you. So here you go. Thank you, Judicon. Air to the Ron. Just stopping by to show support, and we'll rewatch later. Much love from the West Coast. Thank you so much. Western Smile. Rolo CCW option for non-Glock fan.
Concealed carry weapon option. If you're, well, you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the SIG P365 family. You got a lot of different choices. You got the original, you've got the X, the XL, and then the new one. I forgot what that one's called. It's a little bit even larger. So I've heard a lot of good things about the bigger SIG P365. So check them out. Some people don't like the sights. I think that they're pretty awesome guns. That's what I carry, a 365 XL for my EDC, among other things. But that's the one I use. That's my go-to. So I like those SIGs. But you can't go wrong with a few other guns. There's some Canics, some smaller Canics out there as well. They have really good triggers. And Smith & Wesson, the Shield series is always solid.
Rolo knows his shit. DM says, thoughts on Fox News Dominion, and are we being lied to? Thoughts on Fox News like, I don't know if that's separate.
The Dominion voting machines, and I think
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
like
Murdaugh.
Fox News and then Dominion, and are we being lied to? So, isn't there a lawsuit? That's what it is. There's a Dominion lawsuit with Fox News. I have not looked into that lawsuit very much, but all I can do is use my common sense. And I watched Election Night 2020. And I watched the same thing I saw in 2016. And suddenly when everybody went to bed and woke up the next day, everything was completely different. So, I mean, I don't know. It's how can you not question that? How can you not, like, just like anything else? Like, remember 2 years ago, Rolo, what would happen if we questioned Lord Fauci and COVID?
Oh, dude, I need to go back. I actually need to go back because my chain.
Did I just lose Rolo? I think we just lost Rolo. Or maybe you lost me.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I'm
there we
back.
go. Okay.
I don't know what that was. Yeah, but my channel got like a strike for like, this is like medical disinformation. Like a couple of days ago from an episode that happened like 2 years ago. All of a sudden, I'm like, how did this happen? I was like, what kind of crap is this? So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're crazy. That's all there is to it.
He questioned Fauci, R.I.P.
Yep, that's exactly what happened, man.
Our FBI opened up. They got
yeah, I got
You
that one on the
see?
soundboard.
As soon as we start talking about it, start freezing up. Just saying.
Oh, dude, my streams, I already told Joe, I was like, okay, Joe, our regular show, like they can't be monetized. Like my show can't be monetized because of the rants that I go on. I was like, gaming streams, all that stuff, we monetize it, but mine, it's like, nope, it's just super chats because there's no way they're gonna let me talk on here. So
Batman big fan. Hey Jeremy, how you doing? Remember me? I absolutely remember you from the old Geeks and Gamers streams. Good to see you, Batman big fan. Appreciate you. Let's see. Tiny Timmy Biggie Ego for $2. The huge ego diet worked for me. CJ says, when will we get Geeks and Gamers chocolate? Whew. I don't have the budget for the Daily Wire. That's the problem. I do not have the budget of the Daily Wire. Speaking of Daily Wire, though, we're gonna pull this up right here, and
so it goes for about 3 minutes. I think they said 2 or 3 minutes. They said this is a pretty good part, so let's check it out.
Okay, here
this
we
is
go.
Matt Walsh testifying in front of the Tennessee House.
Here we go.
Matt, thank you for being here. You're recognized. Just a quick question for you. We've heard in the news last week and even today that it's pro-life to vote against this bill. We've heard that suicides are prevalent, and suicide has impacted my family, so I'm sensitive when I hear something like that. I've read some of the stuff that you've done, and I was wondering, can you speak to the statistics of mental health and suicidal tendencies for the people who have gone through transition and for people who have not? In your studies, from what I've read, can you speak to that?
Mr. Walsh, you're recognized. Sure. Well, the claim that doing the chemical castration drugs or surgery or hormonal intervention, the claim that this prevents suicide or has positive psychological effects down the line is utterly, totally baseless. There are no credible long-term studies that bear that out. And one of the reasons for that is that there couldn't possibly be any credible long-term studies because we've never done this to kids on this scale ever before in history. So this current, shall we say, crop of children, they are the guinea pigs. This is all experimental. We're sort of trying it out on them to see if it works. Now, they have attempted a few times to do studies, and the interesting thing is that the World Professional Association of Transgender Health, WPATH, which is a radical far-left pro-trans organization, they commissioned a study to try to prove that that hormones and puberty blockers decrease suicide rates among trans-identified youth. And even in their own study, they found that they couldn't prove it. They couldn't make that link because it's just not possible to do. The other thing I would mention too is that the number of trans-identified youth has skyrocketed in recent years. We're talking about exponential 10x, 20x growth. Just huge numbers have increased. And what we hear from the pro-trans side is that, well, this is not a social contagion. It's just that, there's always been this many trans people. It's just that they were not in an affirming environment before in history, and so they couldn't come out. And now, for the first time, trans people have the ability to live their truth, so to speak. Well, if that's the case, and there have always been these sort of like millions of trans people, and if it's also true that if we don't affirm them, that it would cause them to commit suicide, then we should be able to look back in history and find just this unbroken, incredible epidemic of children mysteriously killing themselves because they weren't being affirmed as trans. And what you find is that that didn't exist. I mean, the youth suicide rate has increased exponentially alongside trans affirmation. So trans affirmation causes the suicide rate, not the other way around. The last thing I'll note is that the suicide rate among trans...
Pause it. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, that's a massive checkmate. Yeah. Massive checkmate from Matt Walsh right there. And that is the reality of the situation. Ultimately, when you are constantly told that there's something that you can't talk about, there's probably a reason why that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of these topics that we're not allowed to talk about. You're not allowed to question this. You're not allowed to call that out. And of course, there's a reason for that. It's just a reason why you can't call out other things. And we all know that. But I feel that the momentum is shifting. I feel that it is. It does seem dire at times. But if you just look at the last 3 to 6 months, I just feel like the momentum is shifting. I really do. And I feel that we have to continue. But what happens when momentum is shifting? I'll bring a sports analogy into it. I will. Okay, play 30 more seconds. Okay, hang on. Let's play 30 more seconds. So here we go.
Is sky high. It remains sky high. All the data shows this. It remains sky high even after surgery. And in fact, in the most reliable data that we have, it's years after surgery when suicidality is the highest for trans-identified people. That's the reality.
Chairman President, you're good? Okay. Any further questions for Mr. Walsh while we're out of session? Mr. Hammer? Representative Hammer?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Walsh. I found it interesting. One of our
I think that was pretty much
people testified today.
Unless you want to keep going here.
Okay.
Surgery at 16.
Let's let it go for another minute. Or do we need to let it go anymore? Just waiting for everybody to see.
Comments mentioned this on your blog. At about 16, you're an adult who's mature and can make decisions. You're that at 16. I don't care what anybody says. Even going so far as to say, 16 people. When you're 16, you should be married and could be.
All right. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. This part is good. Somebody says right here. Okay.
An adult, in your view, why does this bill have the minor defined as 18?
Mr. Walsh, recognized. Yeah, that's a hit piece you took from Media Matters, from something when I was a radio host 13, 14 years ago, in my early 20s. It's also not an accurate reflection of what I actually said. I was talking about the fact that people tended to marry young historically, and that's all that was about. How does that relate to this subject?
Just curious of your definition of if you feel like people are adults at 16 should.
No, people are adults at 18, but actually your brain is not fully developed until you're 25. So we should be having a conversation about whether we should even be doing these surgeries to people at 18. But certainly before 18, it's absurd. I mean, do you think that a 16-year-old can meaningfully consent to having their body parts removed?
Raise the volume.
It's maxed out. It's this video from.
Okay, back it up just a hair. Back it up just a hair so I can hear what he said.
Body parts removed? Do you? No?
We do not. Yeah, we asked the questions. It's not. Representative Hammer, you are recognized.
All right, that's it. Nobody had an answer.
The questions around here.
Nobody had a fucking answer. Oh my God, that. That's so good. Oh my God, nothing. And that's typical leftist mentality, where I want to say what I want to say. You have to listen to what I say. But if you ask me a question, I don't have to answer that. I don't have to answer to the nonsense I'm spewing. That was pretty awesome. So that was
it's because so many of these people are freaking puppets. They don't know anything about the issues. Like, you can tell this guy does not care about this. If you ask him personally, like the guy that was trying to grill Matt Walsh there, like, do you really believe this? That's why he couldn't answer it. It's like, you get these people in the back room. I was like, do you really believe this stuff, man? Do you believe that this dude is a chick? Do you really believe it? And they're like, no, man, it isn't. I was like, then why do you do this? It's like, because the people that pay the bills told me to say it.
Some people want us to play some more. So can we go? Can we
keep
going a little bit more?
We can keep going. Yeah, let's present again.
We listen to the chat around here, and you don't have to be a member, unlike other big time YouTube. Although Tim Pool only had like 28,000 people watching him tonight. And I know only 28,000, but it's pretty low numbers. Just saying.
My boy was on his show the other night, though. Justin from Phoenix Ammunition. Love Justin. Really? Good ammo. Yeah, he's a good guy.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Representative Clemens, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you give us a summary of your educational background or your healthcare education experience?
Mr. Walsh, you're recognized.
My experience in healthcare?
your educational background. I'm just curious. You testified as to a lot of your own research. So I'm curious for what purpose you do that and what background you have to qualifies you to speak to that.
Well, my background that qualifies me to speak to this is that I'm a human being with a brain and common sense, and I have a soul. And so therefore, I think it's a really bad idea to chemically castrate children. That is my experience. Also, I did, now it's true, I didn't go to college, but I did go to school long enough to learn how to read so I can read the data for myself, and that's exactly what I've done.
Representative Clemens, you're
And for what purpose do you conduct your research and use this brain of yours?
Mr. Walsh, you're recognized.
I use it for the purpose of trying to protect children from being castrated and mutilated. That's one of the things I try to do.
You don't use it to, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You don't use it to get clicks on your publication?
Well, are you using it right now to try to get clicks with this interaction? No. I really like the
Mr.
idea
Walsh.
of getting, of drawing attention to the fact that this is happening to children. I know you seem to find it very amusing. I don't.
Representative Clemens.
Well, you made a lot of misrepresentations and characterizations in your comments, so I think it's fair for me to question your background.
What did I mischaracterize?
Let me finish, please.
You're recognized, Representative Clemens.
You know, if you're going to come before a committee and make mischaracterizations and misrepresentations, it's fair game for us to ask you your educational background and your foundational knowledge for making such characterizations. That's my point. So I'm curious about you speaking to the development of the human brain by the age of 25. I seem to recall you advocating on behalf of firearm possession at the age of 18. Do you think that's appropriate?
Let's stay on the bill, please.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, well, can I respond to that?
Representative Mitchell, you're recognized.
I can't respond to what...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, you know, I think your original article, blog post, or tweet, or whatever, kind of started this firestorm. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, where we need to look for these surgeries, because I'm still trying to find, you know, the surgeries, because, you know, the sponsor of the bill last week, I kind of agreed with him. I said, we need to split this bill into two parts. You know, I may agree with him on the surgery part, because I don't think it's happening. So, you know, you seem to have started this, so I need your evidence of where these surgeries are occurring in Tennessee. Could you give me, you know?
Okay, they said that's about it, so we
Okay.
can stop from there. So, so that the fact that they wouldn't even let him respond, like, wow. So yeah, that was pretty good. Matt Walsh, I'm kind of, you know, sometimes, I mean, look, it's like any other human. Sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't. I think Matt Walsh's pop culture takes are pretty cringe at times. I think that he misses a lot of, you know, what's leading to some of those problems in the pop culture side. But when you're looking at that type of stuff, oh man, his What Is a Woman documentary was fantastic. I mean, that was fantastic. So that was really good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like you hear exchanges with testimonies and all of that, like even like Ted Cruz was doing the whole thing with Merrick Garland the other day, and I'm like, how many times we heard Ted Cruz get up there and just preach and pound his fist and call things out and nothing ever happens. And it's like,
it's a show.
Yeah, 5 years ago I would have been like so happy about you know, Ted Cruz doing that, but I've heard Ted Cruz do that song and dance so many times. It's just like, I just roll my eyes. But there it is. Tom Sizemore played Pete Rose in the movie Hustle. He was nominated for Golden Globe. It was spectacular. His best performance by far. Check it out. That sounds awesome. Charlie Hustle. Okay. Good stuff. All right. We're going to read some super chats and we're going to call it a night after that, but this has been another awesome CobraCast. Let's see. Trying to see what they're saying in the private chat. But I appreciate you guys being here, and let's do this. So we got Sophie says, skipping anime to watch CobraCast. I have betrayed my people. Oh yeah, and as a matter of fact, Hayden had a comment that I wanted to highlight. He was talking to someone else. He says, yeah, VTubers get dismissed because anonymous personas. They shouldn't. They're often funny, generally entertaining, and some are based. It's a group widely ignored. You know what? And you're right about that. And here's another thing. This is a problem. Like we cannot trash people just for the sake of trashing people, because it doesn't help the overall narrative. Like VTubers are fucking massive. I think VTubers are like the biggest super chatted channels. Like there's like 5 or 6 VTubers. They're like the biggest super chatted channels on the fucking platform. They have a massive amount of support. They have massive viewership. And, you know, it's just one of those things where when something pops up that's different and people aren't used to it, they tend to judge it. And I get it. I do that too all the time. But you know, when you're looking at something like that, a lot of these VTubers, from what I've heard, are pretty based. And it's kind of like, if we're looking down on people because of the persona, anonymous persona, it's kind of the Jordan Peterson nonsense. And I like Jordan B. Peterson. I think he's brilliant when he talks about certain things, but his whole like anonymity nonsense and internet is so bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's I don't think that it's, at the end of the day, the left has to be toppled and destroyed, and you can't win that battle by just alienating people on appearance of like being a VTuber or playing a certain game or watching a certain movie. Like that's how the left has won, is the left has embraced every aspect of culture they can, even though they do it in their methodical, disease infested way. That's how they've had such an impact on everything. They have impacted the culture so much. And I've talked about, like, when you have someone like AOC going on Twitch streams and embracing Twitch streamers. That's why younger people think AOC is cool, because they see her doing those things. She's a horrible person, but she's manipulating young minds by doing that. And whereas conservative side, they just kind of talk down about video games and entertainment in general. Anyway, I'm about fucking bitches. I ain't worried about playing video games. Gamers get pussy too, you dumbass. Okay. And that's how you lose. And anyway, so we'll see what happens. But good comments from Hayden there. Chin Lisa, Jeremy, did you see the most recent Breaking Rad wrestling stream? Me and Ryan watched that at Geeks and Gamers headquarters. I'm pretty pissed off. Ryan defeated me. It's bullshit. And I think the referee was paid off. There was a couple of slow 2 counts when I had Ryan down. I controlled most of the match. It's pretty much bullshit. So I'm not happy about it. And we're gonna need a recount. We're gonna need a rematch. I mean, bat goat for $1. Bat goat for $1. Bat goat for another $1. Let's see. Horny Alf, hail Jeremy. I'm a veteran of the channel Vets Talking. I'm a veteran on the channel Vets Talking with Soldier Spirit from the Legion of Memers. Would love to have you on stream. I think you messaged me about that. My schedule's so full right now. I'm gonna try to start freeing myself up to do more stuff. But I'll have to keep you posted on that. Thank you, Horny Alf. Appreciate you. Dave says Hershey is controlled by a charity trust. This ad campaign just cost schools and hospitals a lot of money. Some people better get fired. Bat goat for another $1. Let's see. Tiny Timmy Big Ego for $1. Bat goat for another $1. Holy crap, y'all just dropping dollar bills. Bat goat for another $1. Darius Harvey for $9.99. I swear rhinos always try to sabotage momentum. 100%. David Nilsson, how about Don Jr. for 2028 presidential run? I don't know if Don Jr. wants it. I don't know if he wants the run. I mean, I would be 100% supportive of that. I don't know if he wants it. Bat goat for another $1. Hayden for $2. This is from the Uniparty. Oh, that was earlier. ASM42. There are no coronations. Trump needs to earn it and work his stance on the shots. He ain't it. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I think Trump has earned it. And but I hear you on that, man, and I respect where you're coming from. SGV, not Sticks said we should be on high alert if DeSantis signs House Bill 269. Shout out to Sticks. Batman, big fan. Keep up the good work, Jeremy. You are the best. Thank you, buddy. Bob R. Here again for my sermon. Lay it on me, Rev Cobra. Yo, Joe. Well, Bob R. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you to the whole audience for the super chats. Jeremy Osteen is very happy. It's been a very grift-tastic stream so far. We got a Puerto Rican on here, so you can't call Jeremy Osteen super racist. But if there's anybody out there that needs to be in the church because you had a hurricane, fuck those people. Wamen. I don't know if everybody remembers that story. You remember that story where he wouldn't let people in? It was so funny.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Marcus Henry says, does Rolo or Locked and Loaded Latinos have a Twitter? Yes.
Yes, we do.
Go ahead and drop those links.
You can follow me there. I don't do too much on Twitter. I'm more of a lurker on Twitter.
Okay.
So I like to talk. I like to talk my shit out loud. I usually don't write it down because I'm like, I got too much shit to say.
I hear you. Let's see. Clag says, that's a member message. Goodbye and good night. Too late here. I totally understand. John Joseph Gray. Hey, Jeremy, I hope all is well. So the best 3 foods to help a hangover: Taco Bell, McDonald's burger, and spicy foods. Thank you, John Joseph Gray. Maria Hargis says Deep State and Rhino want war. 100%. Janan says the biggest thing on gender dysphoria is it is common side effect of autism, and girls in particular aren't diagnosed till later in life. Good points. Joe C. Sizemore, I got that one. John Joseph Gray. Hey, Jeremy, I think you missed my earlier super chat, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I am a cancer survivor of 9 years. John Joseph Gray, congratulations, brother. That is awesome. Cancer survivor of 9 years.
Hell yeah.
Snake Pit, let him know. Apple Kiss with $10 super sticker. Thank you. Is that the last one? Let's see.
I think that might have been.
Is that the last one? Yeah, that's the last one there. Okay, sweet. I think we're all caught up.
Cool.
Now, Rolo, what do you got going on over on your channel?
We'll probably have a gaming stream sometime this weekend. I'm not sure when. I kind of do it like whenever I feel like it. Usually in the mornings. Tomorrow, I think we got a lot of stuff going on, but we'll be back Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Locked and Loaded Latinos YouTube channel. Joe, my better half, and I will be hosting our usual show. We missed last week because Joe was out of town for work, but that just means that the rants are going to be even crazier this week because we got 2 weeks to make up for now.
There we go. Johnny the Whizkid for 3 on Streamlabs. We seriously have self-entitled brats. Seriously. This is a scene from Castlevania where Trevor questioned the priest, and he says, I brought you here to answer some questions, not ask them. And Trevor answers like we should answer. Well, tough shit. 100%. So here's the deal. I probably will be, I got you, Johnny. I should be back in Orlando tomorrow night. But if I'm not there, whether I'm here or I'm there, I'm going to do a CobraCast tomorrow night. So there you have it. Okay. It'll be tomorrow night. Journal Duality says Joe Biden for high security nursing home 2023. So I'm going to give you guys, I got it. So I'm going to do a CobraCast tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow night. It'll be a late one. Probably. Well, I know we got Flashcast. I'll try to do it before Flashcast, but if I can't, it may have to run into it. But I will definitely do that because I appreciate all of you because I am not bullshitting. When I say that this show has kind of rejuvenated my passion for everything YouTube. It's going to help Geeks and Gamers. It's going to help everything we're doing. Geeks and Gamers headquarters. There's a lot we're trying to accomplish, and I need to have my creativity back. And holy shit, Alec Baldwin's finger, 50 gifted memberships. 50. Wow, that's a lot of memberships. And it has reignited my passion for YouTube and for Geeks and Gamers, and I appreciate all of you. Flashcast was canceled this week. Was it? I'll look at. Okay,
so to find out.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. I got an opening for CobraCast tomorrow, so I guess we're gonna do it. So CobraCast tomorrow. I don't have a time yet. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Cam Man says Alec has an itchy trigger finger.
He does. He dropped it right away. Oh, man.
Holy crap, that's awesome. So again, I do have the locals. I haven't really figured that whole thing out. And I do know there's like, let me address a kind of I think this is a fair criticism that I try to understand from the audience's perspective, and I'm trying to work on this. I'm trying to figure out how best to do this. We have so many moving parts at Geeks and Gamers, and whether that's Geeks and Gamers, all of the channels we have, my personal channel, Ryan's personal channel, Rolo and Joe's channel, whoever, we got Geeks and Gamers Twitch channels. We got all this shit going on, and there's so many different directions that moves in. One thing I think that we struggle in is we don't have a central focused place where do you support us? Like, where do you actually go to get the core foundation? We have the website, geeksandgamers.com. I personally don't think that we've done, it takes a lot of money to build a website to the style of like having that community element and all of that. I don't think we've done the best job of that. Obviously, we've got the Discord, then we've got locals. And I think at some point people are like, I don't know where the fuck I'm supposed to support you guys from. There's too many places, and we just want one centralized place, you know what I mean, to kind of focus in on. And I get that. And so I'm going to work on this and try to find one central focused place where we can, kind of find where, and I think locals might ultimately be that answer. But I want the ability to have it where you guys can freely chat. That's the only issue with locals is like, there's not a free chat on that. And so that's why that holds me back on that. So I don't know yet. I'm working on it, and I will try to figure that out. Skipped FNT for his own channel. What a piece of shit. No, it's all good. Oh God. But anyway, thank you guys so very, very much. I appreciate it. And I'll work on getting that community element built out. Let me look in the private chat and make sure we're good. Just check Flashcast is canceled. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I want to give a shout out to Jed. What's up, Jed?
Not much. Just having fun back here.
How you doing, man? Tell them about your channel real quick.
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Hollywood Scholar. Has become a thing recently. I am Ryan, but smart. So that's the distinction. That's the content I offer, the highbrow, similar type of stuff. But I also do lore videos on stuff like The Witcher, reviews on The Last of Us, as I'm the only person in the world who hates that show from the very beginning. So if you're interested in that, including Bella Ramsey apparently dropping a dime on what the finale is going to be, incredibly divisive, maybe hinting at Joel's early demise. We'll see about that.
Ooh.
But yeah, check me out, Hollywood Scholar on YouTube.
All right, right on. And so you guys know where you can find Rolo. We also got Minority Home Backstage and Eric K. So shout out to them. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow for CobraCast at some point. I don't have a time yet, but we will see. But for Rolo, for Jed, for the whole crew, thank you guys. Have a great night, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.
Later.